All right, there we go. Now I should be unmuted. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, wow, I'm early. Thought it was already in session when I clicked. Yep, you are early. Don't worry. We're just gonna probably get started in the next like 5 minutes, give people a chance to roll in. But usually I get like a couple concurrent viewers, and then as the stream progresses, more people join in because I'm not really a streamer. These do way better when I cut them up and upload them to YouTube. So yeah. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. Before I did this, I was getting my steps in, and then I just finished a little like cardio thing. So, time to wind down with a root beer. Yo, Bash Cop, what's up, Bash Cop? Oh my god, we are in the presence of greatness here. The one and only Bash Cop. This is a fellow Bash enjoyer, someone who makes Bash do way more things than it probably should do. In my mind, does the right amount of things, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Yo, what's going on? Glad you could make it to the stream, and hopefully I don't disappoint you with my day 7 solution, because I have no idea what I'm getting into, so that'll be fun. Okay, is everything all set up here? Yeah. Oh, man. What time is it? Okay, cool. We got some time. Nice, nice. I also haven't eaten much today, so don't mind me while I eat a granola bar. I think you got this one easy. We'll see. We'll see. I hope I do. I'm excited for it. So far, the puzzles have been fun. Excuse me, I have food in my mouth. This is disgusting. Why am I talking? I did enjoy the one with the guard where she was walking around and she always turned 90 degrees. That was fun to visualize, and I've done a little bit of like 2D game programming stuff in the past. I'm more or less fascinated than I am. Like, I've never actually like shipped a real game or anything, but I'm just fascinated with the concept of it's like 2D tile maps and things like that. So I was at least familiar with that kind of movement and basic collision checking. So that was a fun one to go through. I kept thinking like, man, I want to visualize this so bad, and maybe I will go through, but I think if I go through and visualize some of the stuff, it would be after the whole challenge is over. Then I can kind of like reset. There's no time crunch. I'm not missing other puzzles, things like that, and kind of dedicate more time to it. Maybe that'd be fun. I don't know. We'll see. All right, probably get started in like a minute here. I don't know if I can't turn my camera down. You know, a lot of people ask me what keyboard I use, and I always tell them the truth, which is I just use like an Apple keyboard because I just have my Apple here. But what they don't know is I also record music on this computer, so like I wonder if people ask what keyboard I should use, if I should just like lift this up. Like, if that'd be a funny joke or if that's just kind of like cringe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I bust that joke out. Nothing funnier than pre-planning jokes, by the way. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Also, unrelated, but I created a Twitch, and then I remember that I already had a Twitch account, so I renamed my old Twitch account that I'd streamed games on previously, like 6 years ago. And I was thinking about maybe getting like a dual stream going where I would do like YouTube and Twitch. So this would stay exactly the same, but I'd also have, Twitch discoverability, which I've heard is absolutely garbage. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. Was I going to ask the chat something? Like, I guess, how do you guys feel about that? How do people feel about Twitch? I kind of just trailed off. I was like, wait, why did I bring this up? Oh my god. All right, well, if that's any indication of where my head is today, we'll see how these puzzles go. Oh, my phone's gonna die. Oh my god. My phone has the worst battery life. Like, it lasts about 4 hours, then it dies. Because I have the iPhone mini, and you will pry this mini out of my cold, dead hands. I will never use a larger phone. Phones are way too big. Cool, we're good. Accessory connected. Unlock iPhone. Yeah, no thanks. Twitch discoverability is garbage, but the software category is at least better than average. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I know Twitch is like, it doesn't have really discoverability or an algorithm as far as I know. It's like, here are the top streamers. So it's like, cool. I wonder who's on the website. Okay, the same 5 streamers that I always see. That's something. I think there's a cool programming community on Twitch, but yeah, it depends if you're discoverable. Yeah, yeah, I'd be curious because I've had a couple people reach out and say they'd like to have me on Twitch because they're like, I'd love to subscribe to you and like give you my free money from Amazon Prime or whatever. It's like, hey, I would love to take your money. But no, I mean, if people like preferred that, it's tough. Oh my God. Asking people like what social networks they prefer you be on, you will get every single suggestion. So I can't listen to them all or else I'd be stretched too thin. Already I branched out from TikTok to Instagram, which was the best decision I have ever made. And then I decided to take my YouTube seriously, and that has been a great decision. We just hit 15,000 subscribers today on YouTube. That's crazy. I have a music YouTube channel. I also make music. Like I have stuff on Spotify. I play piano and do a lot of recording and stuff like that. It took me about 4 to 5 years to get to 7,000 subscribers on my music channel, and I am damn proud of that. It took less than a year to get to 15,000 subs here. So like all of that practice is it's paying off. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, what do you say? Enough yapping. Let's go in and start doing a puzzle. I think that sounds good. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, this keyboard's in the wrong spot now. Okay. The people love Bash. Yo, it's true. It is true. There are real Bash influencers out there. They are both in this stream right now, but they are out there. I'm sure there's got to be more than just us. There's got to be like 2 other people. Let's see. What are we doing? Cool. Let me pull this up. All right. So we have days 1 through 6 are done. And we are on day 7. Let's do it. There are dozens of us. I don't remember if I sent that to you in our first email, but I definitely thought of it. Like that's always what goes through my head. It's like there are dozens of us. Dozens. Dude, I feel like Tobias like every day. All right. Let's do this. Also, this is cool. What I do is I read out the entire story, and then in my edited content, I've been throwing a little snowfall animation on it, and I put music underneath it, and it's a perfect excuse because I wrote the snowfall animation using Rust with macro quad, so it's just a real simple algorithm, and then I wrote the music that's underneath it, so it's an easy way of shilling all this stuff that I've done. And it's kind of nice. It adds to a nice vibe. So here we go. I'm gonna read uninterrupted, and then when I edit it, I'll have to go find this part in the edit. That'll make it easier. I'll just go look for those peaks. Day 7, bridge repair. The historians take you to a familiar rope bridge over a river in the middle of a jungle. The chief isn't on this side of the bridge, though. Maybe he's on the other side? Makes sense. Seems like there's only 2 possibilities there. When you go to cross the bridge, you notice a group of engineers trying to repair it. Apparently, it breaks pretty frequently. You won't be able to cross it until it's fixed. You ask how long it'll take. The engineers tell you that it only needs final calibrations, but some young elephants were playing nearby and stole all of the operators from their calibration equations. They stole the operators. They could finish the calibrations if only someone could determine which test values could possibly be produced by placing any combination of operators into their calibration equations, your puzzle input. For example, okay, and then we have this example here, number, colon, space, number, space, number, space, number. It looks like arbitrarily long list of numbers following the first colon. Okay. Each line represents a single equation. Oh, that's so nice, so I can process them individually. Okay, stop. I'm reading ahead. Each line represents a single equation. The test value appears before the colon on each line. It is your job to determine whether the remaining numbers can be combined with operators to produce the test value. Oh, boy. Operators are always evaluated left to right, thank God, not according to precedence rules. Furthermore, numbers in the equations cannot be rearranged. Oh, this is so easy. Oh, this is not as hard as it could have been, is what I meant to say. Glancing into the jungle, you can see elephants holding 2 different types of operator, add and multiply. Okay, so we have plus and star. Only 3 of the above equations can be made true by inserting operators. Oh, okay, so 10 and 19, yeah, if we put the multiply sign between them, we get 190. 81, 40, 27, I don't feel like doing this math in my head. Oh, they both equal that. Cool. So as long as one of them satisfies it, we're good. It seems like we only need to flip a flag on if we can find one that satisfies it. The engineers just need the total calibration result, which is the sum of the test values, those are the values on the left, from just the equations that could be possibly true. In the above example, the sum of the test values for the 3 equations listed is 3749. Oh, okay. Okay. So whichever ones could be made true, we need to add those all up. So we'll need our classic accumulator value that we've been carrying with us in most of our tests. Okay. Determine which equations could possibly be true. What is their total calibration result? Beautiful. All right, let's get started here. I will pop open the terminal and let's see what we got going on here. Also, for anyone curious, I said I would do this last time and I did. These are all now in a GitHub repository. You can see, go find my GitHub and then go to /advent-of code. If you curl my website, as you know, my website, you can just curl it in your terminal and it looks terrible until I space out the terminal. There we go. If you scroll up here, I link to the source code. If you go to that, you'll get to my GitHub. So that's a pretty easy way to remember it. But yeah, so where are we? Let me remember where I left off. Okay. Let me shrink this terminal a little bit so it doesn't get cut off by my face. Cool. We are there. So we should be in 2024. Make dir day 07. Go into that directory. And cool. The first thing we will do is we'll get the example input.txt. I'm going to just copy and paste this over from the website. You can't see it, but trust that it is happening. There we go. There's our example input. While we're here, I'm going to get my real input too, and I'm going to stop sharing because this is supposed to be private and I'm not supposed to share this anywhere. It's probably fine to show it to stream, but I'm not going to risk it. Just trust that I'm copying and pasting my large set of input, and we will go back to the terminal. And we can see, I will show you where we are. We have two files, example input, which is what I took from the website, and we have real input, which is a lot more records. So that is what we have so far. Is this stream being recorded, and will it be available to watch later? Yes and yes. So yes to a bunch of questions. Yes, this is being recorded. I leave all the VODs up on my channel. They go unlisted when I'm done streaming. But there is a playlist called like YouTube live streams. If you find on my channel, they will all be there. You will be able to watch these until the end of time. I am also recording these locally, and I go through and I edit them and I put them up on my channel. So if you go to my channel right now, you will see I have uploaded day 1 and day 2 so far. We're doing day 7 now. It takes a while to edit them. I don't have an editor. Well, I don't have an editor, but Bashcop's over here like, why don't you just use that? Okay, sorry, jokes aside. I don't have a video editor, so I do it myself. But yes, these live streams will still be available. They'll be unlisted. And also I go through and make individual episodes. So day 1 and day 2 are already there. If there's a playlist called Advent of Code, you should be able to find on my channel. Yeah, no problem. Bashcop, I already kind of, Vim, you don't use add. Get out of here. We could add the file if you wanted to. Add is one of those things where I was afraid of it for so long, but then when I like watched a coworker use it, I realized I was like, oh, you're just typing commands in the same way that I type them in my Vim window. And he was like, you mean your Vim window uses the same commands as add? And I was like, yeah, you got me there, man. You just stunted on like a 20-year-old, man. That's awesome. No, but he was actually a really cool guy. This is a long time ago. I'm not 20. Oh, man. Someone needs to make Vim for video editing. Listen, I actually like that idea. Okay, this is crazy. There's so many times when I'm in my video editor and like I know the keyboard shortcuts, and the keyboard shortcuts, you can tell the keyboard shortcuts were like added after the fact. Whereas like with Vim, you can see some, or with VI, you can see some intelligent design. I would love to see that intelligent design brought to like a video editor. If there was like a modal editor for videos where I could be like, okay, let's navigate. Okay, let's insert where we can actually like crop and do things. Okay, let's go back to navigate where I can JK and jump around clips. Oh my God, that would be so cool. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so what we have to do here is we have to inject operators between these numbers and see if we can make them true. We have two different possible operators, and let's take this line for example. There's two numbers. We need one operator. There's three numbers. Oh, I'm not sharing my browser. I'm sorry. So we need to take these numbers and add operators to them. So right here, there's two numbers. We need one operator. There's three numbers, so we need two operators. There's four numbers down here, so this is going to need three operators. We will need n-1 operators. Okay, so we know how many operators we have, and we know the number of operators we'll need. What we can do is we can construct all possible arrangements of operators. So let's take this line, for example. The possible operators would be plus plus, plus star, star plus, star star. So we have to go through all possible permutations, combinations. One of the two. I always get them confused. Another way you could think of this is I think you could do, there's two possibilities in arbitrary length. I think you can do 2 raised to the power of the arbitrary length, because 2, you can think of it like binary, almost like a 0 and 1, where 0 is plus and 1 is a star. We're going to go through and come up with all the possible ways of doing this. Let me think real quick. I don't think there's a way to iteratively do this. I think we might have to reach for recursion for this. I might be putting the cart before the horse here. This might be my computer science background kicking in and wanting to use recursion, but I think we're going to have to use recursion because I've done similar things as like when programming a calculator. This was a million years ago for my, university. But programming a calculator, I remember we had to do something like this. So we'll see if that's what has to happen here. There is a way for iterative. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm willing to bet there is. It's one of those things where there probably is, but my brain just reaches for recursion first. And it's probably not great that I do, but like that's just, I'm more comfortable with that. And then when it comes to an iterative solution, I have to manually unwind what I've done. Quick question. How long have you been coding for? Let's see. I've been recording for about 20 minutes. No, I'm joking. I probably, let's see. Oh man, I don't know when I first started coding, but it would have been around like 2006, 2007. So 18 years, almost 20 years. I've been into tech way longer than that. I mean, before I was coding, I was doing like hardware stuff. So like I remember when the original Xbox came out, this was like 2001. I think in 2002, I was taking it apart and soldering on mod chips to the motherboard. So like I've always been interested in this stuff, but programming, yeah, probably almost 2 decades, I would think. Yeah, I spent a couple hours thinking, yeah. And like, that's what I love about these puzzles. Like I can get you a solution in an hour, but if you want an elegant solution, give me a couple days. But I kind of like it. It's fun because, even the creator of Advent of Code, Eric, jumped in my chat and he was like, hey, man, if it works, it works. And I was like, you know what? If that's the creator of the challenge coming in here, like, I'll believe him. Let's see. Dave, be straight with me. How long did it take you to master Bash? And can you recommend any reference books for Bash? Okay. I will be straight with you. I don't believe I have mastered Bash. I know a lot about Bash. I know more than your average person about Bash, but I don't believe I have mastered it. I've met some very smart people who know it. In fact, I just recently met Bash Cop, and she knows it incredibly well. She's incredibly versed in it. But I don't know if I would consider myself a master. But I will tell you, I first dove deep into the shell in 2010. So, I mean, we've had a decade and a half of reinforcement on this learning. When it comes to references, get back to me in a year, and I will tell you to go watch my free course on YouTube where I teach you how to do Bash from zero to hero. But that doesn't exist yet, okay? We can't go to the future yet. So until then, I push people to what I really like is the Bash Wiki, the Bash FAQ, the Bash Guide. It's all the same website. It used to be the WooLedge Wiki. I don't know what it's called now. I literally Google Bash FAQ, one word, and you will find it. Yeah, Bash has no masters. It cannot be tamed. That's so true. Literally so true. Yo, what's up, Matt? How you doing? Matt or Matthew? Do you prefer Matthew or Matt? Let me know. But yeah. What's going on, man? Hey, did you ever figure out that day 6 stuff you were struggling with? Or you still trying to figure out what your bug is? What do you say to the Bash haters? Get good. Skill issue. Get good. Literally, I'm not lying. That's what I say to the Bash haters. Get good, skill issue. If you're still stuck, if you want to, feel free to share your solutions or whatever code you have, or if you have it on a GitHub or whatever, share it in the Discord. Ping me, and I'd be happy to like review it. Or we have other people in the Discord that know their stuff. I'd be happy to like take a look and just kind of see what's going on, and maybe I could break down like where exactly what's going on, kind of point you in the right direction if I can figure out what's wrong. So. What day are you on today? Last one I watched was day 2. Day 2 was the one I just uploaded today where I went through and actually edited it. Right now I am on day 7. So I have not edited the videos for day 3, 4, 5, and 6. They have been live streamed, but I'm a little bit behind on edited content. So if you don't want to spoil anything, tune out of this live stream. But I mean, I don't think the puzzles build on each other, so I don't think you're spoiling anything. Cool. Love you guys, but I'm going to lock in for the next 5 minutes and we're going to program this, okay? let's see what's going on here. So what we need to do is we need to take these numbers and do some sort of operation to them. These numbers take some sort of operation to them. What I'm thinking is for the first set, we'll come up with a string that's either plus or star. For this set down here, we'll come up with a string that looks like this. We need 3 operators. It'll be like plus, 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 star, plus, star, plus, plus, star, star. We're counting up in binary. That's all we're effectively doing. But I shouldn't say binary. We're counting up in a base that is equivalent to the number of operators that we have, which is 2, and to the length of whatever the number of numbers is here minus 1. So we have good mathematical ways of describing what we're seeing. That might be confusing. I can break it down in code. Let's jump in. Part 1. User bin env bash. Okay. Let's see. First thing we should do, of course, read in our data. Let's think about how we want to do this. Pretty much all our examples start with that exact same code. We just read the data in, I'll show you. We read the data in line by line, and we just print the line. There is no trickery here, nothing fancy. So we can just do part 1, read in from example. I didn't put the dot slash. And all we'll do is it'll give us the exact same thing that's in there, and it will print it out to us. Technically, it's not the exact same thing. It might chop off some leading and trailing spaces, but we can deal with that later. Depends on so many things. Whatever, I'm derailing. Let's not even talk about what it depends on. Let's do this. So we have the colon first, and then we have the number separated by spaces. So let's separate based on colons first. IFS equals colon. Let's read the, what do they call these values? I'm going to go pull up the actual puzzle, and we're going to look at what they've called these numbers. The test value appears before the colon, so test value. And then the other one would be numbers. Test value and numbers is what we're going to call them. I've learned that I'm bad at naming things, so I'm just going to go with what they have. Test number, and I said values, numbers. Cool. So now we will echo test number is numbers. And if we did this right, our output should look slightly different and show that we are parsing it. Look at that. As you can see, there's an extra space here. That's okay, because we're going to filter that out because we're going to break these into an array. And that's what we're going to do next. All right, I'll take a break here. Let's look at the chat. Also, yeah, when I lock in, feel free to keep chatting. Don't worry. I'm just letting you guys know. Sometimes I hide the chat so I can kind of, burst focus, and then I'll jump back and see what you guys are saying. Speaking of Vim, you can have Vim load templates for new files. You don't have to type the header every time. I should probably look into that. I used to have an alias called like make bash where I would give it a file and it would put that in there. I have something like that. And I do it sometimes. So like if I do me : when I press enter, when I press, there's something, I forget what it was. Me : this. There we go. I have to replace it with the date, the license, and like my name and email and stuff. I could probably leave that there. I do plan on just all this code's MIT license unless I specify otherwise. So yeah, I should probably look into that. Hey, I really like your Advent of Code series. Love to watch this. Yo, thank you. Thank you so much. We're actually getting people watching me because I started uploading these. So like, I am just so happy that this exists. This is so cool. Appreciate the Vim tips yesterday. How do you intend and dedent? Indent, do you mean? Oh, indent and de-indent. Greater than and less than. Literally shift in whatever the key for greater than is and shift whatever the key for less than is. I use Dvorak, so for me it's W and E. I don't know what those are in QWERTY, but just literally just hit the greater than sign and then hit the less than sign. That's it. You can also, if you have like something over here that's gnarly and like whatever and dumb and foo, and they're all spaced weirdly, what you can do is you can highlight them. That's what I do. And then I hit equal. And equal will tell Vim to indent them based on whatever rules it has for them. It can get this wrong, but this usually works for most things. So I'll just highlight something, hit equal, and that lets Vim go through and impose its rules on where things should go. Sometimes it gets it wrong, but yeah, that's kind of how I do that. All right, so now that we have test number as numbers, we need to break numbers into... Let's overwrite the variable. We'll just use the same name. I think this is valid. I think you can do this. What I'm doing here is we're going to read -r so we don't do any backslash mangling. -a means into an indexed array. This is the name of the variable we'll save it to. We're going to overwrite this variable numbers. So we're going to read that string of all the numbers into an array of all those numbers. So what we can say is test number is, and then we can put this. Now we can printf. Let's do space %d new line. And then we can do array syntax notation to break the array into all constituent parts. And then we should get some nice output here. Cool. This is a lot nicer output. What that means is 190 has these two numbers in it. This has these three numbers in it. Those two leading spaces I put there. They're not stored in the array. So we are breaking this apart nicely. Since you are on day 7, does that mean the vids for past days will be available? The videos for past days are always available because they were part of the live streams. So they're unlisted, but they're in a playlist on my channel called YouTube live streams or something. I don't remember. Go look at my channel playlist. I only have a couple. I then go through and edit them and make one video per each day. That takes me time. So only day 1 and day 2 are done. Day 3 is finished editing today. I'm going to export it today and hopefully get it uploaded tomorrow. But they are going to lag behind the streams. So just be aware of that. So what do we do now? We have a test number and we have all of the numbers that we need to test. Okay. So now that we have all the numbers, the number of operators we need, num oppers, is the number, Guys, it's confusing that it's called number. So how many numbers we have for this test, we're going to get the length of it, and then we're going to subtract 1. So if there's 5 numbers, we need 4 operators. You know, like if there's 2 numbers, like 2, 2, we need 1 operator, 2 plus 2, 2 times 2. So let's do this. Echo test number needs num oppers. So we can see, oh, -1 for every single one. Cool. What did I do wrong here? I used the wrong variable name. Cool. So the test value of 190 needs 1 operator. The test value of 161011 needs 2 operators. Yeah, so that means there'd be 3 numbers in this one, but we need 2 operators. So we have to go through and generate all possible operators for this test. So generate all possible operators for this test. Now I think we're going to use a function. Let's just imagine what it would look like. It would be like generate operators, and it would return like, I don't know, some new line separated list of all possible operators, something like that. We'll deal with it as we deal with it. And we'll give it the num operators. What we also need is a list of all possible operators. So here are all the possible operators we can have, plus and star. If you've never seen this in Bash, opening and closing paren is how we make an indexed array. This would be like, square brackets in most other languages. And these are just 2 strings. You separate them by spaces. So yeah. So we have plus and we have star. So this is how many operators there are. Now we have to generate all the operators for num oppers. So let's go ahead and define that here. So now we know how many operators to generate for. So let me think about how we do this. If we know we have to generate a string for 5 operators, a string of length 5 basically, for all possible arrangements, we're going to need 2 to the 5. So what's that, 32? And when I say 2, it's because that's the number of operators. So we're going to need 32 possibilities. How do we get that number? I think we have to start the string somehow. So I think the way we do it, let's make a new... I think we have to loop over each operator. Let's loop over each operator. Oper in operators. Do done. Okay. So this will be plus and then star. I think what we're going to do here. I think we make a new string here. I think we add the operator to it. We'll clean up this code later. I'm working through my brain right now. We add the operator to the string, and then we do something else. Let me just echo opper real quick and just see what we actually have right now. This needs 3 operators, and it printed out plus. And then it printed out example input.text, then it printed out part 1. What's being interpreted? What is being interpreted? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so funny. Oh my god. It's plus and star, so these are being interpreted as globs on the system, so it's actually reading files from the system because I didn't quote this expansion. Kids, quote all your expansions. Kids, quote all of your expansions. Or I'm lying to you. What am I doing wrong here? Is it this? What am I doing wrong? Oh, no. I was wrong. I'm right, but I was wrong. I was wrong with the actual way this is happening. It's here. This star is being expanded. I'm just going to go ahead and quote all of these. That star is being expanded to all files in my current directory. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. There we go. So now we've generated a string that starts with plus, and we've generated a string that starts with star. So we're off to a good start. That is how the 2 strings should start. So this one starts with a star, and then we need to call this again. What do we need to do here? Let me think about this. Because my brain is thinking recursively. I'm thinking generate operators is going to have to call generate operators again until it's called with 0. Oh boy. Okay. I know what has to happen here. We need num operators, but we also need the base string. We need to keep the prefix. We'll call it prefix. So we'll keep a prefix here, and we'll do num operators as 2. This one starts it, so there is no prefix. We're just going to give it a blank string. And then we're going to call ourselves here. Yeah, so for each operator in this, we're going to make a copy of the prefix. So we're going to copy this string. We're going to add the new operator to the copy. And then we're going to call generate operators with that new copy of it and 1 less num oppers. So -1. I think that's it. And then we just need a trigger here to figure out when we're done. If num oppers equals 0, I think, then we're done. What do we do when we're done? Just return? I guess that gets us out of this loop, right? Oh, and if we're done, then we need to echo the prefix because that's the final string that we have built. I think this is going to work. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. So for a string of length 1, we have plus and star. For a string of length 2, we have these 4 combinations. If I were to replace the plus with, 0 and the star with 1, it would just look like we're counting up in binary. Let's do that. TR plus with 0, plus star, 0, 1. There we go. Look at that. If we just replace them, it looks like we're counting up in binary. So that's perfect. And this handles an arbitrarily large number of operators. Cool. So now that we have that string, we can do while read dash RA operators do done, and then we'll read this in through process substitution. Let me just print this out and make sure everything's how we expect it to be. I think that's how we expect it to be. Yeah. So now we have an array of all the operators. So what we have to do is we have to do work. We have to go actually do math now. Yeah. Cool. All right, give me a second. I need to munch on this granola bar. I'm starving. How's everyone doing tonight? You guys hanging in there? We all good? I was just talking and I was muted. Oh my god, I am an idiot. I am an idiot. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. We'll start over. That TR command was neat. I wonder how many AOC puzzles could be solved with pipes and one-liners. What I was saying is, I don't know if Bash Cop is still here, but she does that, and it's gnarly. She streams her stuff on Twitch, but then uploads the VODs to YouTube, so you can go watch them there. But she had a solution to one puzzle. I believe it fit into a tweet, and it was like sed pipe, awk pipe, grab pipe, unique pipe, some commands I've never heard of. Wild stuff. Yeah, so just like I'm stretching bash to its limits, I think she's doing the same thing. No, you're not the only one who lost audio. It just turns out I'm stupid. So that's all there is to that. Okay, let's go through this now. We have numbers and operators. So we should have one more number than we have operator. So what we need to do is we need to step through these and do the math. We need to pop off the front of the array. I think we can do it. Ew. Got a hair in my mouth. That's the one downfall they don't tell you about with long hair. All right, let's do this. We have all the operators and all the numbers. So we will index over both of them at the same time. I less than... Which one's higher? Numbers, Ling, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, man. Can't tell if there's still something in my mouth or I'm crazy. No, I think I'm just paranoid now. So let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm trying to think about how I want to approach this problem. Yo, what's up, Travis? How you doing? We have one set of numbers operate test. Okay, so we're going to go through the first thing to test. And the way we're going to test it is by creating an accumulator here of 0. And then we'll go ahead and grab the first number and the first operation, right? No. No. I know what we want to do. grab the first operator, and we'll start with the accumulator. Yeah, we'll have to grab the number before it. Previous number will set equal to numbers 0. This will be the first number. And then here, we will grab the operator, which is operator at spot 0, or spot I, which could be 0 in this case. And then the number that we're going to act on, current number, is the numbers at spot I plus 1, because numbers will always be 1 higher than operators. So now we have this. We have prev and we have current. Okay. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to do what the operator says. So case oper in. If the operator is a star, then we need to multiply them together. Oh, and we should store it as previous. I guess this is what the accumulator is going to be. But let's do this for now. Yeah, let me think about how to do this. Prev times equal cur. If it's a plus, then prev plus equal cur. And if it's anything else, then that shouldn't happen. So let's just go ahead and put like an exit 5 here. ESAC. Okay. So now we're kind of using previous as our accumulator. Okay. Yeah, we're overwriting previous with whatever the operation is of the current number. This is going to have a lot, but let's go ahead and just generate what this looks like. Or it's going to exit 5. No, it's going to exit 0. All right, well, I'm doing something wrong here. Yes, I am. Operator is not being indexed as an array. That's exactly what I'm doing wrong. Let's see. So we're still doing things wrong. What are we doing wrong? Something's dying when we're in here. Why are we dying when we are in here? How? How are we dying when we're in here without echoing prev? And without exiting 5? Okay. We're stuck reading somewhere. Where do I do a read command and not actually read data in? Yeah, this should read... This should be fine, right? Oh, wait, am I just... Is it just this? Is that the problem? What am I doing wrong here? I'm missing something very obvious. Okay, now we got an exit 5 on that one. Okay, cool. So, what do we print here? Got a blank operator? How do we get a blank operator? Let's print all our operators. Let's stop doing bash minus x. That's a lot of output to keep up with. Yeah, okay, we only had one operator and it was a plus sign. Is there something weird about this? Yeah, somehow the operator is blank. Why is the operator blank here? Oh, probably because I'm using operator here and not operators. How many times am I going to make this mistake? How many times am I going to hit this mistake? Okay, well, we're getting something better now. Now we have an operator of plus plus, so that's clearly wrong. I'll take a break. Let's look at chat. Could this be done using PyPC? Probably. I just prefer to use Bash's internal mathematics. You haven't hit this yet, but I'm curious, how do you troubleshoot an issue where the example data works and the input data doesn't work? I've encountered that once. That was yesterday when I did day 6, when I redid it in Rust. That was stupid because you had to figure out the place. There was like this guard and you need to figure out all the places she went to. And I wasn't counting the initial spot that she was in. In the example data, she makes a loop over the initial spot. In my real data, she never went back to the initial spot. So example data worked, real data failed. That was super annoying. That was one of those things where I was like, wait, how am I going to do this? When each iteration takes 20 minutes, it's hard to find the problems. Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. Oh my God. You have to do your best to try and exit early, exit fast. That's the only advice I can give you for that. Day 6, part 2, Rust coming when? I should work on that whenever I have time. Maybe at the end of the stream. We'll see how things are going. I think it'd be fun to do it and then compare timing, you know. Yeah. But let's knock out part 1 and part 2 of these today. So for operators, it's not being saved as an array. Oh, and of course it's not. Of course it's not. Because I'm just separating them based on... I'm just shoving them all together. I'm not putting spaces between them. So let's go ahead and add oper space here. There we go. There we go. Okay. So let's get rid of all these little debugging things that I've added. And let's go ahead and check this. So now we have prev. We're going to change prev to accumulator. I think this more accurately describes what it is. And then we will say if accum equals test number, then we found, what do they call them? Safe or something? What was the word they use? We found a satisfied result. We found a true result, I guess we'll call it. So let's call this total equals 0. And then if we found a true result, we will do a total plus equal accum. Actually, let's just do total plus equal test value. Echo made test number true with operators. Cool. And then all the way at the bottom, we can just echo final total equals total. Where do I put the needs? That's annoying. All right. Okay. Made 190 true with star. Made this one true with plus star. Made this true. Made this true. So the final total is 71.6. That doesn't seem right. Let's pull this back up. So we made 190 true. We made 3267 true. Oh, yeah, I see what's happening already. 190, 3267, and 292. We did make those true, but look at what we also did. We made 3267 true twice. We need to break out once we made it true the first time. Take a break here. Let's look at chat. Yeah, let's see if we can do it without threading. I'm curious because, you know, Rust is fast. And my machine is fast. I feel like even if we run it in release mode, we should be able to do it without. Even if we run it in debug mode, we should probably be able to do it without threading. All right. Let's go and fix this. And this fix is going to be super easy because once we found this one that's right, we can just break. There we go. Okay, so our total there is 3749. We should have 3749. Hey, look at that. So you know what that means? We're going to do the thing that Matthew hates. We're going to use the real input now and get the right answer. Oh, I didn't think everything would just print to the screen. Oh, this is kind of cool to watch it. It's kind of neat. I wonder how long the solution will actually take. Like, That's not that bad. That number's huge. That number is absolutely huge. Is that going to be valid? Okay. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. We are on a streak. Day 7, part 1. Still have not submitted a bad answer. We have only submitted correct answers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my god, that's awesome. Is my mic clipping sometimes? You guys would let me know if my mic was clipping and the audio was annoying. I just lowered it a little bit. Let me know if that's too low. Let's take a look at chat. Can the required redirection to standard in be removed and instead make while read the argv1 file within the script? Sure, you could. You absolutely could do it that way. You could do it that way. More grep awk sed style? Well, no. Because grep awk and sed will read from standard in unless you give it the name of a file. Like cat, will read from a file, but I could also just echo hi into cat. And then I could pipe that to grep hi, and then I could pipe that to awk print $1. At no point did I give them the name of a file. I just passed it through. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing my terminal. This is what I ran. I'm echoing hi, piping it to cat, piping it to grep, piping it to awk. At no point are any of those reading from a file name explicitly. They're just reading from standard in. Standard in being the default, file name being optionally something you can give it there. Yeah. Oh, but you're asking if a file was given, could you make it do it that way? Yeah, there are ways you can do it. I don't know how clean they are. You could definitely go down here where this final done is, and we could have it read in from a command. So you could do this, probably. So we're going to have it read in from cat $1. So if we don't give it, actually that doesn't work, does it? Oh, here we go. You ready for this? $1 or use a hyphen if $1 is unset. There we go. We'll use $1 or we'll use a hyphen if $1 is unset. So we could pass it like this, or why is that? Oh, sorry. Those quotes are bad. There we go. Colon, hyphen, hyphen. That's the correct syntax. So now if we run it, we can run it with a file name as an argument, or we can have it read in and it will do both. So I would just kind of defer that functionality to cat. So that's one way of doing it. Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if make a debug function to echo if nvar is flagged for the script, debug1 script you can run clean out. But yeah, if I cared more, I would probably do something like that. I just haven't bothered with it. Maybe going forward, I'll make like some sort of debug function, but for now it's easy for me to just comment in and comment out stuff. So cool. We are done with part 1. Let's move on to part 2. What do you say? The engineers seem concerned. The total calibration result you gave them is nowhere close to being within safety tolerances. Just then, you spot your mistake. Some well-hidden elephants are holding a third type of operator. We prepared for this. The concatenation operator, double pipe. We did not prepare for the operator being multiple characters. I think it'll be fine. The double pipe combines the digits from its left and right inputs into a single number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4 would become 1, 2, 3, 4. All operators are still evaluated left to right. Yes, Bash treats numbers like strings. Oh my god, we might be so good here. Now, apart from the 3 equations that could be made truly using addition and multiplication, the above example has 3 more equations that can be made true by inserting the operators. Adding up all 6 test values, the 3 that could be made before using only plus and star, plus the new 3 that can be made using the pipe. This is gonna be so easy. I'm not lying. This is gonna be so easy. Like 5 minutes. Oh my god. Let's just do this. Oh my god. I am so stoked. It never works out like this. I am prepared for this. This is like a first. Okay. Part 2. We're gonna add an operator. The operator that we're adding is pipe. Cool. And now if the operator, which I think we always pass properly, yeah, I think we're okay here. We're going to add the pipe operator. And if the pipe operator is given, we will do accum equals accum next to cur because we just concatenate them. I think this addition of one line and this modification of another line, I think that's it. I literally think that's it. So according to the screen over here, let's take a look. The new calibration result should be 11387. I said it was going to be easy. I said it was going to be easy. Oh my God. Because we did the hard work up front. Because we allowed for an arbitrarily large list of operators. This is going to be easy. Oh my God. I'm going to filter out all of the echoing of the test thing. So we're not going to get flooded with output. So let's go through and run this. And let's put a time in front of it. And that's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, right. Let's do the real input and we're going to time it. So I think this took, what did it take, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds? So it's going to take longer. It's going to take exponentially longer, right? Yeah. I might put a progress thing in it if it takes too long, but we will see how long this takes. The beauty of this is, if it takes too long, this is something that can be parallelized because none of the tests rely on the test before or after it. So if we do need to parallelize this, we can. Because I have no indication of how long this thing is going to take. I say we let it run for like a minute. And if it takes, longer than that, then we figure out a way to deal with it. But, God, I'm scared to see how big this number can be, too. Like, because that last number was big. Are we bumping against, like, 64-bit limits? Probably not. Wow. This should just work. Very slowly, apparently. But it should just work. Oh, man. Yeah, well, the debugs would tell me what's going on. I purposely took those out. I didn't want to, like, print out the puzzle as I was doing it. But yeah, I'd be curious to see, like, what the line count is of the real input and what line we're currently processed. Even that would be useful for getting an idea of how long it took. Because right now, yeah, we have no insight. It could be 5 seconds away from finishing. It could be 5 minutes away from finishing. Yeah, this sucks. I can't believe it's making it take this much longer. It makes sense that it would be, but wow. All right. I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to stop it. And we're going to add some debug output to it. Oh, yeah, that was already running for 2 minutes. Let's see. The real input is only 850 lines. Oh, boy. Okay. So we'll do a nice little printf line. Let's say, iter equals 0. Iter plus plus printf testing iter the number r let's get an idea of how fast this was going. Okay. It only has to get to 850, right? Oh boy. So what are our options here? We could parallelize it and have them all write out to like individual files or something. And then we could read in those files like, yeah, that'd probably be the way to do it. What we could do... I'm thinking. We're not going to get a buffer overflow here. No chance of that. Every time it moves onto a new puzzle, it's any of that recursion has been cleared out. So we do just have to wait for that to get to 850 before we get the answer. Do we want to try and parallelize it right now? I think the answer is yes, because that'd be a lot of fun, right? The problem is we need to return... What do we need to return? If it was good or not? Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be actually very tough. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come up with an ID for all these. We're going to have to write data out to the machine. We're going to have to actually write data out, and we'll have to write out line numbers for each one. So we'll make dir-p data. What I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to do. We're going to make dir called data, and inside data, it's going to have files like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So literally it'll have 1, and in there will be the answer to the first iteration, like what that number should be that we add to it, or it's going to be 0 if there's nothing in there. I think that's how we're going to do it. So we've gone through. Okay, so now we have one number and one thing to test. Test all operators. I think we can do this. This might require some trial and error, but I think we'll be okay. We could just let it finish, but I don't think that's fun. I think it's more fun to work on the performance of it. So we're going to make a function here called test all operators. What will we give it? We have to give it a list of the operators and a list of the numbers. How do we do that comfortably? How do we pass that data in comfortably? I think we pass... 5 minutes to run and 1 minute to solve. Dude, truly. Yeah, I don't even know if I want to do it this way. I'm thinking, I don't know. I kind of just want to let it run, right? I do kind of want to let it just run. I think I might just let it run. I know it's going to be boring, but I think that's the way to do it. So yeah, I think there's 850 that have to be tested here. Yeah. Let me add a way for it to write out its solution so we can start at the top. Let's see. So we're going to check if there's a file that exists with that name. That's where we're going to write these data out to be persistent. If that file exists, then we're going to skip it. Otherwise, we're going to do all this work, and we are going to write out the accumulator value. Yeah, we're going to write out the test number to it. Let me think about how we're going to do this. I have to think about how we're going to write this out. Yep, so if we found a true result, then we will, we'll make a variable for this. Then result equals test number break. Else result equals 0. And then when we break out of this one, we will echo the result into the file. I think that's what we're going to do. So when we run this, what's going to happen? I'll let it run for like a little tiny bit. Okay, now it's ran for a little bit. We're going to ls data, and we're going to have these files in there. So if we cat data 1, we'll see that it has a number in it. That one has a number in it. This has a large number in it. This has small numbers in it. So we'll just have to go through and add up these numbers when we're done. That's all we'll have to do. And that way we can kind of restart this. Let me go ahead and just delete that. Let's now, if we rerun it, it should start at like 10. There we go. Cool. So the nice thing is if something breaks, we at least have all of these solutions that we've done so far. Let me look at the chat. You can try with 2 ops and try 3 only if that fails. That is true. That is very true. That's a super simple optimization. Trust me, optimizing your solution is a big plus for later days. Yeah. Copy the source and race. I've definitely thought about that, letting it run in one terminal and working on it in another. Can you split the test file and running bash in parallel and add them up? Yes. Yes, I absolutely could. I'd have to add that logic, but I could definitely make it where you can run my script with like a number and it would go and generate those. Then I could just fork off a whole bunch of them in the background. That is definitely a possibility. Yeah. I like that one person solution. I really like this solution. It's going to be ugly. It's going to take some iteration, but let's go ahead and do this solution. Let's first try to go through and find all the solutions that only use a plus. Cool. That final total might be wrong. I don't really care. Actually, we can just ls data and see. Okay, so all of those could be solved using just a plus. Let's look at all the ones that can be solved using just a star. Cool, whatever, I don't care. And then we'll check all the ones that can be solved using a plus and a star. Then we'll check all the ones that can be solved using a pipe and a star. And then we'll check all the ones that can be solved using a pipe and a plus. And then we'll go through and solve all the ones that can be solved using all 3. Is that it? That can't be it, right? This is one of those things where I'm not certain of this. If I add all these up, how will this work? So if we cat data, we'll have all of this stuff that we need to go through and add up. Is there an easy way to just add up this? I think I can just use awk, right? Can you just do like, I don't know, n plus equal $1, and then end print n? Is that valid, awk? Guys, I am not certain about this, but we're going to test it. This could be my first one that fails. Let's go ahead and try this. We have our first failure. That's not the right answer. Your answer is too low. If you're stuck, make sure you're using the full input data. There are also some general tips in the About page. That's great. Oh, we have our first wrong answer. The streak ends here, and I was so confident. I do bet if I let that one solution just go, it would be done, but oh man, brutal. All right, let's RM everything in data. Let's try this again. Yeah, let's solve all the ones that can be solved just using a plus. That's not what I wanted. Let's not even bother timing it. There's no reason to do this. Okay, so we are going through... Oh, thank you. Yeah. This is all I'm doing. I'm just going through. I've edited the source code, so we are just looking at those that can be solved using a plus. I don't like that it prints final total 0. That's not really useful. So let's instead do this. Echo puzzle iter solved. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's RM data. Let's start over. So now if we do this, we're just going to check with the plus signs. Okay, so these are all the ones that are solved using just plus signs. Which is good, because let's get all these out early. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I know exactly what's happening. And I know exactly why my number's too low. Because when we don't solve it, we write a 0 to the file. That's the problem. We should only be writing to the file when we have a good result. Otherwise, we shouldn't even be touching that file. That's what our problem was. That's exactly what our problem was. So, let's go ahead and do this again. I should try with the sample data. I really should. I shouldn't just bother with this. But I'm stubborn now. And we're in it. So this is going to go through and solve all of them with just pluses. So if we do an ls data pipe word count -l, we can see that we have 299 solutions. Cool. Let's go ahead and, oh wait, did we actually do plus and stars? Oh, okay. Plus and pipes. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll do pipe and stars is the last one that needs to be done. Pipe and stars. Okay, this is not painfully slow. Pipe and stars. It is funny to see how if you don't optimize early, it comes to bite you when you have really big input data. All right, plus. This is the part that could take a while. Actually, before I do that, what are we dealing with? Out of the 850, we only have 339. All right, so this might take a bit. This is the one that could take a little bit longer. We're not going to have 850 solutions total. Right, there are going to be some that just do not get solved, and that's totally fine. So this is going to go through the final ones and solve them. So yeah, this could take a bit. I'm going to let this run. I'm going to go grab another drink real quick. So we'll just let this run, and we'll see what happens. Please remind me that I'm muted when I come back, because I probably will forget. Unmuted. I remembered. Oh boy. This could take a while. Oh man. I have a way to solve this faster. I have a way to solve this faster. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to allow this thing to take arguments. And the arguments will be... What should the arguments be? Let's see. Max is 50. Let me think. We'll go up to 50. And we'll start at $1. The user will give us a number to start at. So, that's what we'll do. Start and max. if, let's see, iter is less than start, we continue. That should be and. So we're going to take an argument. We're only going to let this program do a couple of them. If it's greater than, let me make sure I get this logic right. So we'll give it 0. It'll go up 50. So if it's less than 0, we don't care about it. And if it's greater than 50, we want to continue, but we will actually do 50. Yeah, we'll do greater than equal. Okay. So now, I think if we did this right, we can give it puzzles, let's say, it'll start at 200. Or it'll have a syntax error. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Gotta put a $sign here. We'll start at 200. So it'll start at 200 and work its way up to 250. That's what it will do. The reason this is important is because now we can do this. For I in 0, ... let's say 900, just higher than what we have. Count up by 50s. I'll echo this so we'll actually see what gets run. We'll echo part2 $I done. Okay, this might be confusing, but I'll show you what will happen. We gotta put a do here. Do echo. This is what's going to get run. It's going to go through and run all these. So they'll start at those numbers. So we're going to have concurrency of about 19 at a time. A little bit less because I don't think it goes above 850. So we're going to do 19 at a time. They're all going to go up to 50. And we're going to put them in the background. You ready for this? So now we have a concurrency of 19. So 19 workers are going. And they only need to test 50 things. And some of those 50 are already done. So this should be 19 times faster. We're letting the system with fork and exec handle parallelization for us. This is scuffed, guys. But I love it. Oh, this is worse than threads. This is worse than threads. Threads your operating system can support, and a single process can make multiple threads. We're making new processes. We are forking, we are execing, we are doing heavyweight stuff here. We are in the 90s here. I even think the threading was before that, so we're old school. Corruption of data files. Yeah, that's why we have to make sure they are not writing to the same file. That is why they only write to their own IDs. They're reading from the same file. That's fine. Unix can handle multiple readers, but we're not ever writing to the same file. So as long as we keep those constraints fine, we'll be okay. Look at them. They're all getting up there. I think we're going to be done soon. Oh, wow. Look at that. A lot of those are done. If we run jobs, there are still 4 or 5 running. Okay. So there are still 5 outstanding. Done. Okay, we have one left. That's not right. That is not the iteration it's testing. That's got to be concatenation of multiple things of output. Okay, done. We have no more outstanding jobs. So let's ls data. So of those like 850, 455 of them were good. So now we are going to total them all up. And this is how I total them all up. I concatenated, every file and summed them. And now we get this number. Now we will go over here. We will test this number. Thank you. Fork and exec. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. We have completed day 7. Yo, that was wild. I hope we never have to do that again. We're going to have to do this, guaranteed. But man, that was awesome. How much fun was that? Oh man, that was great. Woohoo! GG indeed. Oh my god, that was fun. I'll pull up the. Let me scroll back. I think I missed some messages. Let's see what we got here. Macomp Jr., how is this okay? Refile handles and locks. Oh, already answered. Don't worry, I love you. Listen, man, I love you too. What was the command? The command I ran to add them up was this catting of all the data files to concatenate them all together, and then I run awk to go through and sum them. The other command to actually initiate them. Oh, I don't have the terminal open. This was the command to actually pull the trigger and initiate them. I did a for loop for I in 0 to 900. So it counts from 0 to 900, but it increments by 50. This is bash specific notation. And then I ran this command and put them in the background. So if I get rid of the part that puts them in the background and just put an echo, it ran these commands. These 19 commands it ran, all of them simultaneously. How did I pick 19 at a time? Arbitrary. So hopefully that answers some questions. We did it, everyone. That's awesome. So, I don't think I'm going to jump on to day 8. I don't want to start a new one. But would people be interested if I went back to day 6? I've already solved day 6. I solved it in Bash, and I did the first part in Rust. Would people want to see me do the second part in Rust? Would there be any interest in that? We can see how far we'd get, because I don't remember exactly what we did. I think you have to add an obstacle and then see if it would make a loop. Yeah, what the heck? Let's just go and do it. So let's go down here. Let's go to day 6, and let's remember where we were. I think I had Rust Impl. Let's move Rust Impl to Rust Part 1, cp-r Rust Part 1 into Rust Part 2. So now we have a whole second directory where we have what will be Rust Part 2. And if I remember correctly, I think it works like this. I think we just compile it. Yes. Okay. So this was our Rust solution. So let's see. So what was 2 again? I have to go refresh my memory of what puzzle 2 was. I think we had to we had to add all this concurrency stuff. We have to put what we did is we did the complete brute force solution. We put obstacles everywhere on the map and then checked to see if she got in a loop or if she got out. And the way we detected it in a loop is if she visited the same spot going the same direction. That's guaranteed to put her in a loop. So let's go here and see what we have. This was our thing to get new coordinates. This is our thing to move her. Okay, cool. So we have to keep track of... we have a grid. We need... Do I have a hash set? I do. These were all the places she had seen. Do we need to keep track of the places she had seen? No, we didn't actually need to keep track of the places she has seen in part 1 because what we're looking for in part 1 is how many different positions could you choose for the obstruction to stop her. So where we keep track of what she's seen, we're going to also keep track of her direction. It might yell at me. It might yell at me because I don't think it can take ownership of that. Yeah, we'll have to derive hash on it, and I think we'll also have to derive clone on it. Oh, EQ because we need to compare equality. My God. Rust. Let's go. It's 3:30 for me, so I gotta go. Good luck. Yo, appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, take it easy. Oh, right, we insert in 2 spots here. So let me also insert here. I really think it's going to yell at me because I can't own it. Yeah. So what I need to do is I need to derive clone on it, and then I might need to put a star in front of it. Oh my God, when you've written enough bash, you can just, or not bash, when you've written enough Rust, you can just see that coming from 8,000 miles away. Let's just do .clone here, and then .clone here. They're enums, they're pretty nothing to clone. There we go. So now we are keeping track of every place she has seen, and the nice thing is we have to double check when we move her. So here's what we have to do. Let me remember how to do this. If it's a period, we are going to move her there. And we swap out the location, so this actually moves her in the grid. We set her coordinates here, and then we've set that we've inserted it. Now in Rust, isn't there like a checked insert? I think there's a way to like check if you've inserted or if inserted worked, but I think we can, what we can do is we could just do this. Let, I don't know, value, or tup, because it's the tuple of these. We're going to save this key here, and that way we can just insert the tup here. But I think we can do, I think what we can do is we can say if scene dot contains tup. First we'll check to see if it's there. If it's there, then loop detected. And we'll have to do something when a loop is detected. I don't remember what it is right now off the top of my head. That compiles. So now we have loop detection method or functionality. So let's see, we do a loop, we do a match. Yeah, this would break her out of the loop. So we can detect if we have seen a loop. Let's test this the same way we tested it last time I did this, if I remember correctly. I think the way we tested it before is we modified the example input and we added an obstruction here. If I put an obstruction here, then she will force herself into a loop, right? No, next to her, next to her. If I put the obstruction here, then she will get into a loop. Loop detected. Okay, cool. So we were able to detect that loop. So now we have a way of detecting if she walks away or if it's a loop. Cool. So now what we have to do is we have to test a whole bunch of different maps. So we have to take all of this logic and we have to put this into our own function. So we'll make a new function called function test map. I don't know. We'll make our own map. We'll take some arguments and we'll return I guess map has loop, and we'll return a Boolean, which will be true if a loop's detected and false if a loop is not detected. I think that's what we'll do, because all we have to do is we have to count all the ones that created a loop. So we read the file in, we create the grid, we get the guard coordinates, and there we go. I think we have to save all this stuff. Okay. We're going to take all this logic and we're going to move it up into map has loop. And then we're going to take our arguments here. So we're going to check to see if this map has a loop. So what do we need? Well, we need the grid, and this will be a vec of a vec of car. Was it a car data in there? I think it was character data. We need guard coords, which is a tuple of u sizes, and then that might be it, but we'll mess around. We can get these all from that. Cool. Can Rust have inner functions? I don't know. I don't think you can have a function with a function. I could be wrong. I'm not as good at Rust as I am at Bash. What a wild sentence. I don't know the answer to that. You can have closures. Rust definitely has closures, and you can do like sort of like you'll see like syntax like this, stuff like that. I don't know if I can just define a function in a function. My code's not going to compile right now as is, so I'm not even going to try. Okay. What did I call it? Map has loop. So let has loop equals map has loop grid.clone guard coords.clone. These are going to yell at me because I don't think they're clonable, but we're going to take the easy way out. We're just going to clone them. You can assign a closure to a variable, which is similar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that. Yeah, but it's not like, I don't think I can use the FN keyword not at the base level of indentation. I just don't think that'll work. We're going to modify this grid, so I need to declare it as mutt here. This also needs to be mutt. That just worked. There's no way I just wrote that right on the first try. Panicked. That's what I thought. Oh, not yet implemented. I think I left the to-do in there, didn't I? Yeah, okay. So if we got to the bottom here, there was no loop. And if we got up here, there was a loop. Cool. She walked away. She walked away. Okay, cool. Okay. So now, let's get rid of the trying to move her. Print. Okay. So now we have to loop through every single possible puzzle. And the way we do this is we have to grab the width and the height, so we know how many to do it with. Get the width and the height of the puzzle. And then we will do for y in, what's the y value? Height. I think you can do, is it 0 ... height? I think that is valid syntax. And then for x and 0 ... width. I also think that's valid syntax. We'll find out. Cargo build should just tell us. Yeah, those are valid syntaxes. Okay, cool. For y and x in these, we will check if grid x, y equal a dot. Then we will change grid x, y to an obstacle. Let's just clone it right now, so we won't mess with the original one. A lot of cloning here. This could definitely be cleaned up. Does this work? That works. Okay. So we're putting an obstacle into place if there's a period there. And then we will test if it has a loop. Let total loops equal 0. Make that mutt. If has loop, total loops plus equal 1. And then print line here, have loops. Okay. And then we can do a nice little print here. Print line testing x comma y as obstacle. And then do we have any other print lines that really matter? Testing this an obstacle if it has a loop. No loop. I think that's okay. Let me remember this. Let me think about this. Okay, so this went through and tested the example input, tested all these puzzles, and then it determined that 6 of them have loops. And if we go over here, the example input, there are 6 different positions you could choose. So this logic should be ready. We should be ready with this logic to go ahead and test the real input. Now, if you remember, I never let the real input finish on Bash until we added the concurrency. I went through and added it up later. When I looked at the concurrency of it, I took the timestamp of when I started and when I finished. It took about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So the Bash version with concurrency What did I do? The max concurrency of like 10 or 50. I think I did 50. Max concurrency of 50. That took 5 minutes, over 5 minutes. Oh yeah. I think dash dash release is the way to go. I think you're right. I am curious. Let me do a cargo build and a cargo build dash dash release so we don't time this. Oh, there is a dash dash timings. I don't even know what that does. Let me do some testing real quick. What is dash dash timings? Probably doesn't do anything with dash Q. I just thought I'd put timing at the bottom. Yeah. Because I do want to time it. And then if we do dash dash release, I do want to see like debug versus release. Cargo build, cargo B. All right, so now we're going to get ready to do the regular input. And I think, did we take it as an argument, the file? I don't remember. Yes, we are giving it the argument. Okay, cool. So we don't have to recompile, which is nice. Let's go ahead and run this with dash dash release. We are still outputting the name of the puzzle we're testing, so there is going to be some slowdown from us outputting the terminal. We can get rid of it, but let's do this just to get an idea of how long it will possibly take. It is so much faster. Of course it is. Of course it is. But wow, it's like, it just... 11 seconds. And the answer it gave me is 1516. And if we go over here, your puzzle answer was 1516. So, yeah. 11 seconds with 0 concurrency. 0 concurrency. Like, I don't have any Tokyo tasks or anything being spawned. I am curious how much slower debug would be. That seems a lot slower. Like, I can count that number on the right going up. Oh, man. Didn't even need Rayon. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love Rayon. I use that in... I wrote a program called VSV, which is for Void Linux. It's like the Void Service Manager. And I used Rayon in that. And, oh my god, I remember because I run it on my Raspberry Pi. It'd be so slow, one after another. And I used Rayon. I was like, this is magical. How crazy. Like, this is just crazy. Oh, my God. So, yeah, debug and release definitely made, like, a big difference here. Oh, man. Yeah, because this one's going to run for a while. I wonder how long it'll take. But 11 seconds in release mode is just pretty awesome. Like, pretty awesome. Wow. I don't even know how many there are. Okay. That's not the worst thing in the world. 1 minute and 8 seconds. It took 5 minutes in Bash with concurrency. So, like, okay. Not the end of the world here. Let me do some quick testing here. Let me just get rid of these. Don't even let it try to print. Cargo B release. Run release. Oh, it's still printing. Right, because I have a non-print line macro there. Let's build it with release. Run it with release and timings. See if it goes any faster, not having to run to my terminal screen. It probably shouldn't. We're not going over SSH or anything. I'd imagine it'd be like 10 seconds. I have a gift. What can I say? 10.9, so basically 11. Honestly, that's like variability that like probably wasn't even the prints that did it. So yeah, for people who are interested in my Rust solution, that's how I would do it in Rust. And oh my god, it is so much faster. Even that solution today for day 7, doing day 7 in Bash was kind of scuffed. We got it done, but like it required a lot of stuff. It required writing out all of the solutions into a directory called data. So I could be like, oh, what about puzzle 126? Well, the total from that was 468, and then adding them up later. Wow. My Bash solution takes 25 minutes, and it was wrong. It sucks, man. That totally sucks. Like I said, if you want to share the code, I'd be happy to look through it. Just pop it in the Discord and ping me. I'm happy to kind of look through it and see if anything stands out. Because like you said, you ran it with the example input and it worked. The only thing I'd recommend is modify the example input. Like, if you put that obstacle to the left of her in the example input, you'll create a loop. So try that. See if that causes breakage, because getting a small example that can trigger breakage is really good for being able to debug. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was a ton of fun. It's always a ton of fun. These puzzles are a ton of fun. I'm so nervous they're going to get way harder and above my pay grade, but for now, they've been doable, and I've been able to knock them out. And day 7 was super fun. And I even said this with day 7, all I had to do was modify 2 lines and it would have given me the answer. It would have taken a couple hours, but it would have given me the answer. I stand by that. Oh man. But yeah, you can do it. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And when Eric jumped in before, and I even watched his behind the scenes talk, he even said like, he doesn't want people to have that mentality of, oh, I can't do that. That's a day 25 puzzle. So even though I feel that way, I'm pushing it aside. I'm forgetting the day that I'm on, and I'm just going to take it one puzzle at a time. And at the end of the day, it's binary. Either I can do the puzzle or I can't. But what's not binary is how much fun I have. Send a BG and watch TV. There's some truth to that. Like, I mean, I could have just, I think I have to start doing what people suggest, and I might start figuring this out. Pop it into another terminal, go over, start doing iterations on it, but let that solution run, so that way I can race that solution. So even if I screw everything up royally, I'll at least have that solution spit something out. I think I'll start doing that for future puzzles. But yeah, I'm going to call it there, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Probably, most likely, same time tomorrow. Most likely. No guarantees, but yeah, probably. Yeah, and we will knock out day 8 tomorrow, maybe more, but I'll just take it one day at a time. Yeah, we have day 8 to do, and I'm not even that far behind, which is cool. And the whole picture is coming in here, so this is really cute. That's awesome. It's like a snake or something. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's cool. I love how like they're grayed out because I haven't do them. They're even more grayed out because it's not unlocked. It's neat. It's neat. When Eric wants to make sure brute force won't work, it won't work. Like, not before the heat death of the universe. Oh, that's okay. I'll just get my hand on one of those Google quantum computing chips. What is like the Willow or whatever? I'll toss it on my computer. We'll be fine. I'll figure it out. We'll do it in like 5 minutes. But no, I think that'll be cool. Yeah. I like brute force solutions, but I also like when you get into a situation where brute force is not viable. It's not the way to do it. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. People who have asked, day 1 and day 2 are edited and uploaded. Day 2 was uploaded today on YouTube. I'm going through. I just finished editing day 3, and I'm going to go through and edit day 4 or 5, whatever. I don't have an editor. I don't make nearly anything on content creation, so I'm doing it all myself, so it takes time. But yeah, don't worry. And of course, these streams are always going to be available. They're unlisted, but yeah. So yeah, that's it, everyone. I'm going to jump off. Have a good night. Take care, everyone. And I will see you guys in the next stream or video.